I have been in Delhi for the last 8 years, but in spite of everything and in spite of all my struggles, I am still struggling to adapt with the culture.
I will cook curry and then towards the end only I will just put that, whether it's fermented soybean or whether it's bamboo or whether it's nari or whatever it may be. I always put at the end. Just for flavor, but I don't get the real taste, of course. But this is something that I do in order to be at peace, maintain peace with the neighbors.
People out here don't try to help one another until and unless they have something to take in return from you. You need to understand the culture.
The human connection. My best friends are still from the high school, or I have professional relationship with my colleagues, but that human connection is a lack.
Housing, it would be one of my main problems.
I think it is the system. The system is really hard to adjust here.
Especially with the social system, we are raised back home and coming here with a new outlook of the city.
How best to relate to the local people. As much as I love them, as much as I'm interested talking to them, I still find myself adjusting when it comes to the daily mundane life, trying to connect with the local people. So it's culture.
The thing I miss about home is where you can be you, where you can be the person you are, where you can be understood and accepted for the person you are. So that's what I miss.
I miss the love and the safety that you get at home.
In Delhi, people live very independent lives. I think back at home in Nagaland, we are very close-knit as a family, and even as neighbors, I think there's always an emotional connection between people.
People are friendly, open, and then they don't think this much like how to,
The sense of freedom, which is generated from the feeling of belongingness.
The warmth and being in a closed community, the comfort of being in a closed community.
The first thing definitely is food, and the second thing is the community.
Sense of community, family.
And home is the place where I have my real purpose in life. So this is one good thing that I miss about home.
We can educate the non-Nagas by creating a platform where we can all come together, have dialogue, share about our culture, and at the meantime also understand their culture, share about our history, at the meantime understanding the history. So I think, for example, we have one-day events such as Freshers Meet, where we invite various people from different communities, particularly the mainland Indian. And for example, like even our upcoming event Golden Jubilee, we can always invite the non-Nagas to be a part of our program and educate them and then have a dialogue. And in this way we can also visit other programs and then share about the Nagas. We have a big role to play, and then we can all be an ambassador in various ways.
General attitude towards women by the mainstream culture is not as respectable as we Nagas show. So in some ways we can demonstrate how we treat women. I think it can go a long way in ensuring women's safety in Delhi.
As a cultural ambassador, someone of my age, I can tell them about our ancestors, how our culture has been preserved for all these years, and then how we still take pride in our culture, and what we do to preserve our culture.
I carry my traditional bag during my MSc days. I was carrying this traditional bag, which was made by my mom, so I was carrying proudly. And then one girl, she came up and she said, "Where did you get that?" I said, "My mom made it. Can I get one?" And I said, "Yes, of course." So then next time I got one for her, and then we started talking, So what I mean to say is I created a platform where I can talk about my culture, when I can talk about my history.
Minority here in the city, we do not find the treatments as we do expect to be wide difference in the way people get along and things get done. But in those small pockets of our pursuit, daily pursuit, we can certainly tell people what Naga people are.
Whenever we have this functions and the programs being organized by the student unions, and one of the major functions being organized by NSUD in a year, that is when many people get educated, and that is where I try to invite as many people as I could, or as many people who are interested in knowing our culture.
One example, I was teaching these students about the elementary form of kinship by Levi-Strauss, and Levi-Strauss was talking about certain forms of marriage, and I realized that form of marriage is so much like the Konyak Naga. And now, instead of using other examples, I talk about the Konyak Naga as example in that particular theoretical framework. So in that way, I'm able to tell the students, I'm able to tell the others what Nagas are.
We must try to establish a relationship with the non-Nagas and interact with them about our social responsibilities, our social values, our history and culture.
I have to adjust myself to talk to them as equals, not as an interesting subject. So as equal we have dialogues, as equal we have interaction. That I have to come to that point. I have to rise from my mediocrity. I have to make them shed that prejudice against the Northeasterners. That we are not just exotic or interesting or unexplored area, but rather as equals we can have dialogue and we can have interaction, intellectually or otherwise.
The platform that we have of reaching out to the children within the communities like Indra Vihar and around here in North Campus, that gives us a good privilege where we are able to really connect with them person to person and show them that the human side of us, loving them and caring for them and teaching them good moral values. And over the years, about 5 years now, since we've been actively engaging with these people, what we've seen is that their respect for us has grown. And a small kid of 2 years or 3 years, whether they are girls or boys, they just feel free to be around us. They feel so safe to be around us. And I think that's a very important values that local people here are wanting from us. And I believe that is the need of the hour in cities like Delhi, where insecurity and then safety is a big issue.